Well, good morning and welcome to Trekking with Turtle. Today we are about an hour south of Portland in a place called Silver Springs State Park. And it is a beehive of activity here this morning on a Friday, April the 11th of 2025. Um, there are several waterfalls here that you can actually hike to. Uh, and we're going to try to accomplish all of them today. Apparently, it's about roughly 7 miles, but I guess if you add in all the side trails and the waterfalls, it probably comes out to a little bit more. But apparently, there are 10 waterfalls you can actually visit. Some of the falls you can actually drive to and walk to. I'm going to attempt to do the actual rim trail that they have out here. It takes you to all the falls and do the entire 7.2 mile loop. So let's get this thing started and come along and let's go find some waterfalls. So there are a couple ways you can actually go on the rim trail. You can actually go clockwise or counterclockwise, or you can just kind of choose to pick, whatever you want to look at. But out here being April, it is springtime out here, so be prepared for wetness, be prepared for muddiness, be prepared for chilly temperatures out here. So we're pretty much right at the start of one of the trails, and right next to the trail is a place called Silver Falls Cafe. It doesn't open up until 11 o'clock, but maybe afterward we can find some nourishment in there. Also, there is a feeder park here. It's $10 for the day use, so it's really not that bad, especially if you're going to be out here for a while. So we're going to get on the trail and hightail it so we can see everything. So starting off on this counterclockwise loop, there's already a lot of greenery, a lot of moss. I mean, heck, we are in a state park. But some of these trees, with the amount of moss they have on them, it's pretty insane. I mean, they do get a lot of moisture here. I don't think I've ever experienced trees with so much moss on them. I looked at a couple of them, and I kind of reminded me of kind of like a sloth. But anyway, so far the trail itself is actually pretty easy to navigate. So right here we are at the South Falls Lodge. If we go back, if we go this way to the right, we're on the rim trail, and this also goes to the North Falls Trailhead parking lot. So we're taking the rim trail. Also, it's wise to get yourself a map while you're here so that you can kind of make it a little easier to navigate. But so far it's not too bad. And bring some hiking poles, bring some gloves, bring a skull cap. Just stay warm. Be prepared to do some climbing because it is rated as a moderate type of a hike. Not sure what the terrain is other than today it's just wet. There's some mud spots. Pretty easy to navigate. One thing I noticed that when everybody got to the parking lot, everybody was heading straight to the South Falls. And I think that's the most popular fall. So I'm glad we opted to go counterclockwise, and we'll hit the South Falls at the very last stop. But got a little bit of incline going on here. Just insane amount of moss out here. I will say this feels like something out of a fairy tale. I'm almost expecting to see a little house in the woods, gnomes, dwarves, fairies, whatever you'd like to imagine, but It's literally out of a fairy tale. No monsters in here, just the beauty of nature and how it evolves. So far I haven't encountered much horrible condition on the terrain. It's been pretty easy to walk on. There's been a couple of muddy spots here and there, but nothing really to be concerned with. I mean, and I'm only a mile in. You know, there may be more to come, obviously, but it's just, you know, it's worth the price of admission out here. So come prepared to look around, come prepared to spend some time. If you find yourself in this area, just soak it up. All right, we are coming up to our first waterfall, which would be the waterfalls. Looks like it's kind of a steep decline to get down to the bottom, which is probably a good idea to have hiking poles. So we're definitely going to stay on the rim trail, but we are going to head down to the bottom of Winter Falls, kind of see what it has to offer. So here's the rim trail to my right. Again, just another sign. I go to the other side, it's got the Winter Falls Trail. So, and it's saying, caution, trail condition may be icy or slippery, observe trail condition and use caution. So, at the current moment, it doesn't appear to be any added difficulty, but you know, things can change in a heartbeat. It's probably about 45 degrees out here right now, so I don't anticipate any ice. However, mud can be just as slippery, so we've got poles. Pick your line properly when you're going downhill. Try to stay on the dry areas if you can. Be aware of rocks because they can be just as slippery. So with the steepness of the trail, it seems like it drops about a couple hundred feet. So going down, pretty easy. Coming back up, for some people it may be a little bit of a challenge coming back up. So there is a bench partway up where you can actually sit and rest if you need to. But there are people of all ages that are coming down here. Why not you? But we're heading to the Winter Falls, and it's coming around the corner here, and suspense is killing me because I've never seen it, and everybody is talking really good things about it. And again, this is the Winter Falls. And right now, it's currently no people are down. Oh, I take it back. There are people at the bottom. So we're going to try to get around them and see if I can get a good bird's eye view of the Winter Falls. Gets a little bit more wet the farther down you get. There's a bench down at the bottom. It's not that far off the trail. I mean, it's maybe a quarter of a mile. But those trees are just insane. Full of moss. Full of moss. There's a small little trail off the trail that leads you down to the very bottom. Which, gotta be careful with my footing. It's a little wet down here, so it could be a little slick. There we go. And it literally takes us all the way to the bottom of the falls. Try to juggle all my equipment. Oh wow, check that out. Well, I guess depending on which way you travel, you get a lot of alone time out here, which is great. It means you don't have to hear other conversations other than what might be in your head. So it is quite nice out here. I've already had to eliminate my hat and gloves. There's some sort of fall down there I'm hoping that we can venture down into. But what I've noticed is going counterclockwise, there hasn't been that many people on this side. I can only assume, again, that a lot of people are getting to each fall by driving to it rather than being able to get out here and walk. And not everybody may be able to get out here and walk. There may be some individuals with some physical challenges, but I highly recommend that you get out here and stretch your legs, walk a little bit, and enjoy Mother Nature. So I just came around the corner, and I swear up and down the waterfall kind of sounded like a jet engine from that one angle. And all of a sudden you turn the corner and it gets a little quiet. So every angle gives you a different effect. Right down there is where the falls are. And as long as you stay on the trail, it won't take you a few seconds to get down there. It'll take you a couple of minutes, I guess, to get there by trail. So stay on the trail. There's a lot of steep drop-offs here. A little maze of trees here. Oh, a hole. Oh, hopefully that won't amount to much more. So we have made it to the canyon trail. I'm not sure which fall this is. As long as we don't fall in, we'll be fine. No pets beyond this point. Just about a lot of lush green, a lot of water running through here. The road is on the other side. You can actually drive to this particular part. Again, another caution sign about being icy or slippery. and areas where you can and cannot go. So apparently this is the North Falls. 136 feet left and I will hit the North Falls. I don't know if that means that's how much farther I have to go or how tall it is. Look at all of this. To have the fence there so you don't take a tumble, but I guess you do have to worry about other things on this side that might hopefully never slide down. So I'm guessing that sign means the falls are 136 feet tall, because I've already been 136 feet and I've not reached the falls yet. So a lot of rocks to go underneath. A lot of moss. Look at all that moss on the trees there. There are stairs here you can take. But you got to take your time because they can be slippery. Wow.
Get your steps in.
Definitely get the steps in. So for this purpose alone, I'm probably going to take my hiking poles just because of the little wetness on the stairs. I'm going to turn the camera off until I get to the bottom. So we made it down the stairs. There's about 70 or 80 steps. I lost count after 70. But a lot of water on them, which can make it slippery. And then as you get off the stairs, then it just gets you onto a regular trail. And before you know it, it sounds like the falls are literally right there. Those are the North Falls. Quite an impressive view. And it appears you can actually go behind it and underneath the rocks over there. If you're going to venture after these individuals that fit for their picture. Really give you the whole view. Fix the camera here. They're not in the shot. There's a good possibility you're going to get wet under here. Whether it be mud or water dripping off the rocks. This is pretty cool how you can actually go underneath the waterfall and behind it. So, as they say at Disney's Jungle Cruise, the eighth wonder of the world, the backside of water, O2H, O2H. However, Disney's waterfall is man-made, but it's an impressive, oh my god, it's an impressive area to walk underneath. There's a couple places you can sit. prepare to get wet from above and experience a little bit more mud on the exit side, but this is all coming up from the top. So right about here is probably where you might get a little bit wet. And then once you exit, come down a little ways. Another angle on North Falls. Look at all that. That is a lot of water coming off of there. So this is Twin Falls. This is the only access and only angle I can pretty much do it. If I go a little farther down the trail, I kind of want to get back up on the regular trail. But this is Twin Falls. There is a parking area up ahead. There's a trailhead up ahead. Connects back to the Vernon Trail. There's a rather large tree down at the bottom that has been uprooted or blown over by wind, and it crosses all the way over to the other side. All in all, still pretty impressive. A lot of water. I can only imagine how cold that water is right now. And it just leads right down through the canyon. I would imagine at some point it'll connect with another waterfall. In the meantime, we are going to head back up and move to the next trail. So what we're heading down to right now might possibly be the Middle Falls. There wasn't really a label on the trail marker back there as to which falls this was, but I'm going to assume this is the Middle Falls. And we're currently about 6.15 miles in, which means we don't have that much farther to go, but we still have a few more falls to see. I've lost count as to how many we've seen, but every one of them has a very unique characteristic about it. I'm just going to sit here and enjoy the view. this fall, and then we're going to start heading back toward the other side, head to the other falls. So this is Double Falls. A small little trail that'll take you all the way up there. Leads back down to here. Alright, so it's called Double Falls, I'm going to assume, because there is one that falls right on top of the other. Regardless of what it's called, it's still quite a view. Wow. So here we got the lower North Falls again, just at a different angle. We can continue on, and it appears that we have a few more miles to go before we hit everything and before we make it all the way back to the car. But we've been successful so far at finding everything, even though it has been sometimes a little confusing at certain junctions. So after the lower North Falls, it appears to quiet down a little bit here. We got a long and lengthy trail up ahead before we hit more falls. Alright, I'm getting low on battery and I'm getting low on storage. So we're going to make this kind of quick. We've got 11 minutes left on the card. And only a little bit of battery left, and we have 2 more falls to get to. This is the lower South Falls that we're heading to. And then the fall after that should be the South Fall, and the last one that we will get to see. So it looks like it heads over to that side, and it looks like it actually goes back behind the falls again, which is really kind of fun. So I'm gonna try to save my battery a little bit, save my minutes. We'll get behind there, do a little video, and move along. So apparently it was my battery that was a little bit wet after taking it out and drying it out a little bit. It started to work again. We've hit our last falls of the day at 10.15 miles of where I've been. These are the South Falls. These are the final falls of the trip. And it looks like, once again, you can go behind them. O2H, O2H. I don't know which way to head, but we're going to find out here soon. Looks like there's a couple ways to go, but I don't know which is the proper way. That one goes to the lodge. This one goes to the South Falls. So We want to go to the lodge, but we also want to go behind the falls. So let's go behind one more fall and start wrapping things up. Last remaining minutes and battery usage on the Insta360R. It's a little steep to get up here, but I've been walking about 10 miles or more, and it's, wow, it is beautiful. A couple little caves up here. Whew. Wow. Yeah. I've been walking a long way. Wow. Another moment of O2H coming up. People coming on the trail, we're going to try to sneak around. O2H, O2H.
Yeah.
The backside of water.
Yeah.
Well, that pretty much wraps it up. We made it back to the parking lot after 11 miles, total of 11 miles. So thanks for joining me on this adventure to Silver Springs, or Silver Springs State Park. So we're gonna grab a little bit of food, and we'll see you on the next adventure.